Welcome to Nkosi Talk Shows. Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020.
Find your own voice.
The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow.
Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Let the world hear your voice and be filled with it.
For the day has come for you to be a great leader.
The time has come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience the unthinkable.
Hi, good afternoon, and good morning wherever you are, and good evening wherever that you might be. My name is Nomsa Clara Mbe, and welcome to Nkosi Talk Shows channel. So if it is your first time at Nkosi Talk Shows channel, we talk about everything, everything. We have coaches from all walks of life. So if it is your first time, please subscribe. And if you want to comment, you can comment. So my topic today is, I know Hillsong is everywhere. And I'm not going to mention any pastors' names because I don't know, I don't have a proof that they did what they did, and I'm not going to mention anyone's name, but I'm going to speak based on my experience and based on basically just watching this basically everything unfold with the Hillsong and other churches as well, and for the experience that I have gone through. I know there's some people that basically are Christians and that are blaming Hillsongs, and at the same time, basically, if you basically are into Hillsong, basically what I would suggest to anyone that plays Hillsong music is you have to pray, because if you play their song, it means you are part of them. If you play the song and you embrace the music, you embrace Hillsong's words, that means you are part of Hillsongs. So you have to pray, and just pray for God to release a Hillsong from the spirit. Basically, I'm talking about the reason why I've decided to talk about this spirit is because I caught this spirit right-handed. When I took my daughter and my children for filming, and I was about to go online, I changed my mind that I didn't go online to broadcast. I just said today is not going to be the day. But when I took a picture, when we were going home, and I took a picture, you can see my skin, I'm brown. But when I took my picture is actually green. It has actually my neck, it has green, and some of the pictures are posted on Facebook. If you go to my Facebook profile, you can find the proof of this spirit that is tormenting Hillsong, and basically is tormenting Hillsong, is tormenting people, Christians or non-Christians, and where does this thing live? Is on Facebook. For those who are on Facebook, I'm afraid you use Facebook platform, and that is an altar where he is. You use Twitter's platform, that is an altar where he is, because all these churches, they're on this altar basically. So that means is that you're on Instagram, he is on that altar on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, he is on that altar on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, he is on that altar on YouTube. If you are outside, he is on that altar, because the spirit is a God. He is on that altar outside, and in churches, is on the altars in churches. Basically, they link their demons. So it's like when people say like a Hillsong, if you go, you listen to Hillsong. If a Hillsong, I'm not saying a Hillsong are guilty, so I just want to be clear on this one. If he is in on a Hillsong, which is I'm 100%, no doubt that he is with the Hillsong, this spirit that I'm talking about. I've no doubt, because if he is with Hillsong, so it means that the pastors, when they say God, they are not worshiping Jesus. For those who go to Hillsong, they are not saying God with talking about Jesus, unless if you are specific and calling him out and calling Jesus and say Jesus. Yes, you're speaking to Jesus. But if he is at a Hillsong, he is the Hillsong's God. Anyone that plays music of Hillsong, they are worshiping him, because it's their altar, and the songs have been written by Hillsong. And if there is a pastor at Hillsong who has sold their soul at Hillsong, which is there is a chance, because Hillsong is a celebrity altar. So there are celebrities who have sold their soul. And for those who are just coming in, I'm not just talking about something that it's something that I have experienced myself. This spirit basically got me into Hillsong. I made a phone call to him just like that. I wanted to join Hillsong, and but I changed my mind. I had an appointment basically to go and talk to them about joining Hillsong. I'm a musician, and just before I joined Hillsong, the spirit had recruited me. I'll make you rich, whatever you want, just whatever you want. And I said to them, get lost. Get lost. So I'm not talking about something that I'm guessing, or something that I've read, or something. I'm talking about the experience that I've gone through, and the experience of it for those who are playing a Hillsong songs. If this spirit is inside the Hillsongs, there's a price to it. That means human blood sacrifice. That means your family will have to donate the blood, human blood sacrifice. Is it because of Hillsong? No. It's because of the Hillsong what has become. I'm not talking about just the Hillsong, the churches. If you go on YouTube, you want to get the idea of what I'm talking about, go on YouTube. The pastors are fighting on YouTube. A pastor who is working for God, and if they are fighting on YouTube, that is opening. They are fighting, basically not fighting on YouTube, but they are fighting, and they are basically broadcasting their feelings about other pastors, how they feel about those pastors, and that is unclean. In the house of God, it is unclean. So they are fighting. Big churches, if you go and look at the specific big churches, they are fighting against each other. And what happens when somebody is fighting other pastors, and you go to that congregation, and that means there is a door that it has been opened. That means there's something in that church that should not be in. So which is this spirit that is destroying people. So this spirit, it causes fear. So this spirit, what is the name of this spirit? Before we go further, there is God, there is Lucifer. There is the son. Lucifer is the son of God. So you have two choices. You're worshiping God or you're worshiping him. So he's the one that hacked me basically in here where I live. And I basically decided to go quiet, because I agreed to go quiet, because where I live, there are celebrities that live in this place. There are people who are wealthy. Henley-on-Thames is a wealthy city in the United Kingdom, and is a which one that in the UK as well. So Henley-on-Thames, where I live, is the richest city where people live. You have celebrities, you have so many people basically that are famous that lives in Henley, film stars. And George Clooney doesn't live, he lives 10 minutes away from Henley or 15 minutes away from Henley. So I basically agreed that I'm going to shut up, I'm going to shush you, and I'm not going to say nothing. But that was the case of him hacking me. And when he hacked me, I was not because I was playing a Hillsong. I don't want to blame Hillsong. I was playing Hillsong music, but it wasn't because of Hillsong. It was because of the lifestyle that I lived myself. It was because of the churches where I went. It was some churches, basically, when you go to their churches, if the spirit is there, there is no survivor. Basically, you become donated to them. You get donated to the human blood sacrifice. And it sounds harsh, but that is the truth. So anyone that is watching, and if you're going to a church where things are going well, and then when you enter that church, things are no longer going well, that means that's not a church. That means they're stealing your blessings. That means he is the God in that church. So where was I? And if you go to those kind of churches where the spirit has been agreed, or the spirit just enters, it enters through sin. Basically, if a pastor is living in sin, if a pastor is committing fornication and is the leader of that church, if a pastor, sometimes is the bloodline history of that pastor, that can bring this, it can bring him whatever Lucifer in his agent. And sometimes it could be, if the graveyard, it could be maybe somebody in the bloodline of this pastor has done something. When one person basically does something into the bloodline, everyone pays. It does not mean that pastor, but they do it anyway. Now people want, not every pastor. That's why the Bible, if you open the Bible, it says not every person that say Lord, Lord will enter the kingdom of God. So that party, it was the party that I couldn't understand it. But now when I look at it, I think let's say in the world, there we have laws of pastors, laws of churches. Let's say we have maybe 10 million, only maybe 1 million can enter the kingdom of God. The way things are at this minute, not because people, it's because of sin. We follow the world, how we dress. For me, basically, it was how I presented myself as a Christian, how I dressed, and I played any music. I played artist music that got me in trouble. The music I got hacked, and I played I played some, I went to churches where the pastors had agreed to this spirit, because this spirit, when you join, you get famous. So that is the beauty of it. You get fame. Basically, when this spirit enters and it recruits you and you agree, you get fame. In that way, he doesn't lie. When they say, I'll make you become the person that you want to become, very easy, without working hard, people just working for you. It means it's going to steal somebody else's hard work, and to basically to give it to you. So if you say in return, you donate the blood. So let's say if I was a musician, if I'm a musician, I create my music, I produce it, and people who watch it, they are worshiping me. They are under me. I'm their idol, and the God is their idol. So that's how you donate. So that means if he wants the blood, those my fans will have to donate the blood. So that's how it works. So for those who are blaming Hillsong, if Hillsong is actually into the occult, as everyone says that they are into occult, but I don't know. I don't have proof of that. And for me, basically, I know that this spirit, you don't have to you don't have to join it. And when it's in, when they say give your life to Jesus, you have to be specific. Make sure that you're mentioning Jesus, not God. Because if you give your life, you close your eyes. A pastor says, give your life to God, and you close your eyes, giving your life to God. Which God? There's loads. There's millions and millions of God. So which God are you giving your life to? So if you give your life to Jesus, specific and say, I give my life to Jesus, you'll be giving your life to Jesus. But if you close your eyes, specific say, I am giving my life to Jesus, to God, that you could be giving your life to any God. So that is what the Spirit does. I entered, it hacked me, I entered it. And when I entered, I knew there was still me inside. I knew there was still nonsense inside, but I got out. And I'm grateful to the pastors that helped me to get out. It wasn't an easy road. And that one, for me, if I say I'll be lying to you, it wasn't an easy road. But some people get hugged, but they don't realize they stay there. They get hugged. For them as fans, is they're basically worshiping them, and that's fine. You don't know, you wouldn't know, you wouldn't know that. But when you get hugged as a human blood sacrifice, it means it's death. It's life or death. So for me, it was life or death. So that's how I know. And the process, the pastors that got involved, helping me, I'm grateful for their help. And I'm grateful. That's why I'm not shutting up. I've meant to shut up, but I'm not. Because if I shut up and somebody else dies, I survived. God made sure that I survived. He pleaded my case, and he showed me that he is a God. He is a God. He is who he is. And no one, there is no other. There is no one basically bigger than him. Even his child is not bigger than him. So that's what he showed me, because I survived. So that was my case. I survived the Hillsong. I played the Hillsong's music. I went to churches that were they sold their soul to the Spirit. I went to churches that were serving the Spirit. But it was the Hillsong involved. I don't know. I really don't know. So in that way, but my story is real. There are pastors that helped me, and I had to believe that I was going to live. It wasn't an easy journey. It wasn't an easy journey, but I can tell you that I survived. And when I went in, the rapist, he has mind people who are rapists. Basically, seduction. Basically, it means when he enters, if he is hugged, a pastor, to please him, this spirit, a pastor will have to rape. We have to sleep with the people in the church. We have to sleep with people outside to please the spirit. They will have to rape them. Rapist. He has people transfer. He has people basically, what do you call it? They are transferring disease to people, transferring cancer, transferring he has everything, you name it. I felt it with my heart. He has everything. Everything. The witches, he has everything. That do all sorts of things. And for those who basically, if you are somebody who don't pray and you just choose a church, some people, because he's a God, he goes to every home. He's in every home. He's a God. He works exactly like Jesus. The way Jesus works, the Spirit works exactly like him. He will go to your home, control you to go to a channel on television. You go to a channel, you watch a pastor, and when you watch a pastor, he will make sure that the words that the pastor speaks is the words of seduction. You get dragged into the emotions. You start crying. You start saying, I relate to this pastor, and thinking it is your decision. And then you end up going to that church. But that church is the church that is calling you because they want you for something. So that's how it works. There are some people who go to churches, they think, oh, sometimes you go to, or maybe he will make you think, or he'll bring somebody who is already in that church, and they'll mention the church, that this is the church that I go to, and it's amazing. And then you go to, and people are recruiting people without them knowing. So that's how it works. For those, it's like, there are some pastors, let's say big pastors, who have got big churches, famous pastors who are under him. Some people they know, some pastors they know, it's not a secret for them. But there are some people who are lying about other pastors to destroy other pastors, that this pastor is into occult without a proof. So for me, basically, I'm talking about the experience that I went through. I'm not going to mention those churches because that's not fair. God will not want me to mention those churches. He want me to speak about what is happening so somebody else can pray. You pray to God and he will show you that if you are in the wrong church, that that's the church is similar to what Nomsa was talking about. So it wouldn't be fair for me to say this is the pastor. So there are pastors who are famous on YouTube, and you can click and say, watch them, and start crying, and start, when they say the blood of Jesus, and you start relating to them. You start praying. You feel it. You feel that the feelings of the connection. He makes you feel like that. That's how the Spirit works. So then once you feel connected, because you're worshiping, you'll be listening to them. And now the next stage is for them to drag you to that church. His job is to get you as an audience, basically to worship him. And you go there and you say to the pastor, oh, I watch you on television. Or maybe sometimes I watch you and I was going through this, and you find that something has disappeared, and you feel like you have to testify to this pastor. And once you do that, you are in. And once you are in, the next second stage is for you to wait for your death. That has been programmed to you, that has been programmed to your family. Basically, the audience are the blood. They donate blood. So I'm sorry, there's no other way that I can put it. So if you are an audience, you are there. If you worship this church, or you worship, if he is a Hillsong, because the Hillsong is an entertainment, it's an entertainment church. So I'm afraid that is the truth. It's an entertainment church. And when a church has an entertainment, when it comes to prayer, they have to be powerful. They have to pray. The pastor has to make sure that he prays, he fasts. He has to make sure that he does not live in sin. But if he is not, if it's those pastors, but sometimes when we start praying, we powerful, and then as the time goes by, he uses money anyway. When you have money, you are a God. Everybody looks up to you when you have money. And there are some pastors that have money, and when you go to them, they want to know, why are you there? Because their church it's not for entertainment. Their church is for you to pray. Whether you have like you pray, like you sweat. So that's what happens. But a Hillsong, it hurts to say this, but it's an entertainment. And as an entertainment, the pastors have to be strong, but are they? I don't know. And that's what the Spirit uses. He enters where there is a door. If a pastor is doing fornication, is the door. You don't have to join, or if Hillsong also is a celebrity church, and these celebrities are selling their soul and they're not hiding it either. And their spirit, I'm not talking about, for those who are coming in, I'm not talking about something that I've not gone through it. I've gone through it. I even caught it on camera. And for those, if you're watching the video, if you want to the proof, you can request. I even took a picture. I'm brown skinned, but when I took a picture, my picture came out green. So it came out green, like in my neck. I had a green. I've got a green screen. I've got a green neck, which is like it shows what it is. It's a weird picture, or if you wanted, you can check on my Facebook page. I did put it on my Facebook as a token of life for me in case I lose it. So it's there on Facebook. You can find it. I took a picture when my children were filming, and after dropping them off. And here's the proof. I caught it right-handed. Right-handed. That spirit, I caught it right-handed. He enters where there is entertainment, is there, because his job is to hack. But for me, he had hacked me. He was removed. So, and that is the experience that I went through. So when somebody says, no, sir, you're talking about things that you don't know, I've gone through it. I've gone through it. There was a time where I thought I was going to basically lose my life. But unfortunately, there were pastors who really wanted me out. They prayed for me until I was out. And because I live in Henley, it's the richest place in the world, in the UK. And I agreed that I'm going to keep it quiet. I'm not going to say anything. So I told one of the friends that something is not right. I was playing Hillsong. I was going to specific churches and the famous churches that some of you guys they go to. And I said to somebody, something is not right. I'm here, but my mind wasn't here. I could see he wanted me to know that I wasn't here. He hacked me. So I knew I wasn't on earth. So my friend, what this person did called the social services. And when they called the social services, for me, the police came. I still knew, I still was able to recognize people to speak. So I was talking to them, and the spirit made sure that I was speaking what he does, what he's doing. So I spoke, and they called the social services. They humiliated social services. They humiliated, and the psychiatric doctor, they called him, and my GP, everybody, and my church, my pastor, everybody was there. So my pastor, basically, he confirmed that, yes, there was a spirit, and that spirit, I knew it was a God. I knew that I wasn't with Jesus, but I was with Lucifer, and he knew. And at that moment, that was 2016, September 2016. And he knew. He spoke about coronavirus. And after coronavirus, the symptoms of coronavirus, after they hacked me, after they unhacked me, they removed me from this spirit. I had to go to the doctors. I was feeling weak, and everything, the symptoms of coronavirus, whatever it says in my blood, is how it kills the black people, like in the sun. And those were the symptoms that the doctor had to take vitamin D. But I was fine after that, because the pastors told me the consequences of my life. It basically is between life and death. If I let it go, and then I'll die. So I basically had to hold on. So I held on. They gave me prayers, psalms, and I had to hold on to it, praying psalms all the time until I was unhacked. Somebody unhacked me completely and removed the spirit. And when it left, it was a relief, because I found, but if I stayed in that church, I would have been a human blood sacrifice for them. and which is what I was chosen for. So they want people with talent. If you are a talented person and you go to the specific churches where this spirit is, that means there's no survival. I'm afraid I would love to say different. I've gone through it and I've experienced it, and I've watched my family going through it. And I've watched, because I was hacked. It means when he's hacked me, he attacks my family for me to surrender and say yes. But for me, it was get lost all the time. It get lost, and even God, it was there fighting with me. It's like I was telling him to get lost all the time, not selling my soul, because it wasn't for me. When I heard that it is between life and death, I could be sacrificed for somebody. When you are being sacrificed, that person lives your life. If you are meant to be a celebrity, you have basically wealth in you, you have this, that person becomes you in the spirit realm. So that is the case. So if this guy is a Hillsong, and Hillsong pastors, they become rapists, it's not a surprise. And the other churches, some pastors, they say, you want deliverance, I have sex with you, and then you'll be delivered. It's popular, and for those who didn't know it, it does happen. There's lots of people. We have gone to these big churches, and that is the spirit. That's how it works. So you have to, that's how it works. Sometimes they sleep with, you go to church and you tell them I have a problem, that I'm struggling to get work, and the pastor will say, okay, if you want to God to help you to be delivered, to get really job that you want, come to the office, dressed like this nicely, we have sex, and you'll be delivered. And some people say, why would someone think that way, that they're going to be delivered? They are no longer in control. You are no longer in control when this spirit takes over. If the pastor is in this spirit, when you talk to that pastor, they take over your mind. You are no longer in control. They yes is for what they want. If a Hillsong, the spirit is at a Hillsong, which I'm 100% that it is at a Hillsong, because it's in other churches, and Hillsong has celebrity churches that sold their souls. And when somebody, if I sell my soul and go to Hillsong, they become under my God, my altar, under the God that I worship, the God that I agreed to. They become that. They become, the umbrella becomes one. So for those who didn't know, that says, oh, Beyonce sold her soul, but they still playing her music. I don't know whether she sold her soul. I don't know. Or they say someone sold their soul and they're still playing that artist's music. So if a Hillsong, like everybody else is saying Hillsong, for me, basically, I realized with how it works, because I went into the spirit. And when he hacked me, and I realized that's what he does, is got pastors who are rapists. They're doing what he wants. He wants them to sin. So every person that is worshiping that church, they don't see the kingdom of God. They are under him. Because if you go to a church where there is a fornication, where the pastor is destroying people, is basically sleeping around, taking drugs and doing this, it's a sin. So that means you are a sinner, you will go under there. So for me, basically, when I went there, I went on TV, and I chose some random channel pastor. I chose different pastors. I went to them, and my surprise, when you go to these pastors, sometimes you don't go back because you've entered the footstep. So once you enter the carpet, they don't need you anymore. You've already been there. They don't need you anymore. So you can donate your blood when they need you. It means they'll kill your family and they'll kill you without you knowing. So that was my case. when the pastors started explaining to me that, Nomsa, you this is what you're going through. This spirit wants a human blood sacrifice. And then I was like, what now? So they explained to me that this is what is here for. Your name was put down as a donation, a token. So I will not be here today. So that's why I can realize, recognize what Hillsong are going through. Is destroying the churches, and Hillsong could go bankruptcy. Is destroying businesses. Is destroying the churches. Is destroying. So how is it destroying the churches? The pastors, when it goes in, the pastors agrees. The pastors wear the garment of the graveyard. So that means it kills, it get rich by killing people, wearing the garment of the graveyard. Then the pastor, you go to the church, everything is going well, and all of a sudden things are no longer going well. The pastor is wearing the garment of poverty. He is stealing from you and your bloodline. They are getting rich. You are getting poverty. So that's how the spirit works. The pastor is wearing the garment of rapist. So he is raping the members in the church and outside the church. And while they are busy, God, Jesus, Jesus, they're dancing. You go to church to dance. I don't go to church to dance. I go to church to cast out the enemy. And that's why I was able to catch the spirit right-handed. I caught it out right-handed because when I pray, I use the Bible and say, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. I will not suffer for somebody to take my life. So that's how I caught the spirit, and it spoke. When I was going through, he hugged me, was speaking who he was and why he was there. I could hear it. But was I scared? No, I wasn't. Why wasn't I scared? I don't know. Maybe it's because I was praying to God and crying out to God. So that's why, if anyone, and a rapist, if anyone basically is going to the churches where people are being accused of rapist, is the garment. It means the pastors. Sometimes the pastors can wear the garment of rapist as invisible. They don't have to agree to it. For those who say the pastors, all of them agree, they don't have to agree to it. Sometimes they are innocent, they don't know anything, and this spirit enters. If there is a sin in that church, he will enter, and you put an invisible garment of graveyard, garment of human blood sacrifice, garment of business stealing. It means they will transfer. The rich people go to that church. Instead of the money comes in, the money will be, their destiny will be stolen, transferred to somebody else. The blood, the blessings, it's all messed up. So I'm not talking about something that I'm making it up. It's something that I've gone through it. I have gone through it. And when you don't know, I used to basically go to the doctors all the time. I go through it. And when you go through something, you are like, it's like you read the Bible and the Bible comes alive. It comes to life. Basically, you're reading the words and you find yourself, basically, those words, they've come to light. What does the Bible say? This. For me, that was my story, 2016. But did I stop doing what I do? I didn't. I kept going, I kept working, I kept studying. Because I knew that I found the people that are honest, that have showed me that this is what it works. They sat down with me and told me that, Nomsa, you are facing death or life. You have been chosen for human blood sacrifice. How do they choose people for human blood sacrifice? Family members, they know you when you're born, they know that you have a life that is different. They want that life. So when this spirit comes, it will tell them the family members they join, who in the family that they can use. So they'll choose you. A stranger on Facebook, pictures, those who put pictures on Facebook, they choose people through Facebook. They choose people through Twitter. They choose people through Instagram. So for those who didn't know, So they choose random people. It doesn't mean that you have to be involved or you have to go to church, or they sometimes they go to church. They attach their demons to other churches, and then you find these churches that are they're big and they are making it, but you don't know how. You don't know the history of how they are making it. And the new ones that are entering, pastors that are entering, they hear that there's a human blood sacrifice. You want to be rich, they go and join. It's money. So for those who didn't know, if you put on your pictures on Facebook, LinkedIn, he is on LinkedIn as well. I forgot about LinkedIn. He is on LinkedIn. I forgot about that. So he's on every social media. Basically, he's hacking people on every social media, but it doesn't just hack. So if I have a friend on my profile that is maybe goes to these churches that are killing people, that are doing human blood sacrifice, or everyone wants to be rich now. Not everybody. People are getting rich for right channels. There are people who are rich. There are pastors who are rich. We have gone through the right channels. We have worked really, really hard. Not every pastor. So I just want us to be clear, not every pastor, but if you pray, God will direct you. And also this spirit is very, very powerful. I would love to say to you that it's not powerful, it's not this, but it is. Is bonkers. It's really, really, really bonkers. The experience that I've gone through is not a beautiful experience. I have never, ever, ever experienced anything like that in my life. I've read the Bible about how God works, but I've never realized that there is somebody that opposes God that does the same. And what Hillsong are going through, for those who are blaming Hillsong, what they are going through, it might be something that they've never asked for. It might be a spirit that entered through celebrities and through the culture that Hillsong have decided to be the altar that they have decided. If they are not praying and the pastors are just entertaining people and say this is the house of the Lord, and the devil will say no, this is the house of the devil. If the pastors maybe they cheat, they fornicate, he will say no, he will enter. Those are the doors. If there is any, he enters through abortion. If any people that have done abortion, they go through the churches, he enters there with them. If let's say for me, I'm in the spirit, this is the altar that I'm in. So if I go to that church, they will start experiencing the same thing if they are not praying. So that's why basically it's very, very important when you watch the news and you hear that a pastor has been accused, and if you were going to that church, you have to pray and break everything, because this spirit is a spirit of witchcraft, and that's why God is God, and this is the spirit that is tormenting people. I'm not just saying because I'm guessing I've watched on the news. I'm talking about the experience that I've gone through myself. I have gone through the spirit. I went to church that I chose on random on television, but I thought it was me that chose the church. But that's how they control people. If they really, really want to, if you have something that they want, that's how they choose these people. And you enter that church, there's no way out. So for me, there was no way out. My out was death. But God said no to my death. And I had pastors that dedicated their lives to actually help me. And those pastors, they know who they are. They dedicated their lives to check on me. Like if I go to bed now at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, they'll be checking if I'm okay. 1 o'clock, they'll be checking if I'm alive. 3 o'clock, or 4 o'clock, or 5 o'clock, until I got okay, until they knew that the spirit had gone. That was my case. I played the Hillsong music. And my church, they do play Hillsong music, but for me, it cannot hack me, because when I pray, I know what kind of a spirit it is. I call it out. and I tell him to get lost. I tell the spirit to get lost. So that is the case for those who are watching Hillsong and they're like, I'm playing, I love this music, I love this, I love this. You got to pray. You've got to pray, because if Hillsong is inside the spirit, it's a spirit that is a human blood sacrifice. That makes pastor become a rapist. That makes when a pastor is a rapist, they are sinning, and when they want blood, they go to the church. It means the Hillsong is around the world. So which means if they want blood, the Hillsong are actually donating the blood unknowingly to this spirit, donating their funds as a human blood sacrifice, because it is the spirit that makes people well. It is the spirit that it works like God, exactly how Jesus works with God. God, when you pray to God and you say, God, this is, you seek whatever you ask, he says, whatever you ask in my name, it will be given to you. But when you ask, there is a process. God does not just give it to you, whatever you ask. He will give it to you, whatever you ask. But there's also going to be a protection. But with this spirit, you get everything that you want. And then after that, you will be shamed. That's why he's doing it. Shaming Hillsong, when they've worked very, very hard, building the business. So he's using the pastors to shame the business, to basically to disgrace Hillsong. He's using the pastors to actually get the funds out now at Hillsong. Is basically is doing all sorts of things by using the pastors, and that's what he does. That's his job: is to disgrace, is to cause shame. So now everybody talks about Hillsong. Hillsong will be the name brings shame. So people who are going to Hillsong, that means everybody will be judging them as they are doing this to people. And that's what he does. And that is destroying somebody else's life. They are destroying, and with businesses, they are destroying businesses. He is destroying, entering businesses and basically the economy, and destroy it. But for me, I can recognize it. If where he is, I can recognize it. So it means when I pray, I'll tell it to get lost. And there were times where sometimes I put fire. I know what kind of a spirit it is, and I know it's if I light fire here in the UK, I have done it last year. It came in, and I wanted to put symptoms of coronavirus, and I put a fire outside. And I said, if you enter, I don't care how many people you are carrying, I will kill you. If you enter, get closer to my life, I will kill you, because I know what kind of a spirit it is. And that spirit enters fire, it will be banned. So you have to, if you say you're a Christian, you have to recognize, you have to be somebody who read the Bible very well. Some people say, my sin has already been forgiven. They go to church and that my sin has already been forgiven, so I don't need to do anything. But the enemy will still be doing his work. Is not standing a Hillsong. If he is there to Hillsong because he got me in a Hillsong, I would be singing for Hillsong under Hillsong now. But something he said, something is wrong. So that's why I changed my mind. I said no. And I couldn't go to the appointment that I had. And that's when I realized actually the spirit is there, because he had already tried to recruit me, because I was singing pop music and going as a Christian. So he recruited me, didn't try, he recruited me. And by then he made a mistake and say, I'll make you rich. And I said, no, only God can give you what I want, not Satan. Only God can give you what I want. By saying no, I have paid the price. My family have paid a heavy price. I've lost family members who were killed by the spirit, not by guessing. I knew, because I said no. But some people said yes. And I said, no, I don't want to get rich through selling my soul. I recorded my single, and after I finished recorded my single, I was in my living room, and then he entered. I wasn't recording my single in the house, outside. Please let me try. And he entered, and he gave me no, actually, I was fasting. That wasn't the day I fasted, my 40-day fast. Then he entered, gave me a choice. Do I follow Jesus? Do I take his offer of becoming who I've always wanted to become? I said, who are you? Then he spoke. He kept saying it's Jesus, but he made a mistake. He kept calling. He kept in my mind there was wealthy. I said, no, you are a liar. You are not God. You are not Jesus. You are a liar. And it wasn't God. It was the Spirit. And the Spirit is the celebrity. When a celebrity tells you that I've sold my soul, he is the person that recruited me. When somebody says I sold my soul to the devil, that is Lucifer. He is the one. So I've experienced it and I came out of it because God said no. But it wasn't easy. So I'm speaking from the experience. When I see Hillsong, what they're going through, I feel for them. I feel it inside because it's disgracing the brand. It's not there basically. It doesn't care about whatever is going on, the pain that whoever started Hillsong, the pain, the tears, the blood, what they went through. It doesn't care. He just want to disgrace. He's done what is done, and now we just want to disgrace. And every pastor in that Hillsong, when people are watching them, they will be judging them. But for me, basically, I know 100% that is with the Hillsong. I know 100%. But just by watching and listening to the girls, the people that are confessing that what they went through and the way they were approached. There was a girl, how she was raped as well, that it takes somebody's heart, it moves away your heart. So it means you can't feel anything. You can do whatever you want. If you want the excitement, like the pastors that you watch, and they are like really, really powerful when they are preaching, and they are like, wow. So sometimes it's him, sometimes it's God. So you're just gonna have to figure out if you're going to those kind of churches. But for me, with the Hillsong, I feel for them. How are they gonna get out of it? They have to change their system. How? Because the culture, the money, the money, it doesn't go with God. You can get rich, but you still have to have a heart. You still have to, because they live. I was watching the other girl, how she said how they live when the big money, the celebrities, they donate money to Hillsong. They have to go out and flash the money and spend. But with God, it doesn't work like that. You can donate money to charities, but if you go out and sleep with girls, women sleep with men, women is sleeping with different men, and men is sleeping with different women, you're married, and then tomorrow you're going to go and say, hallelujah. Hallelujah. This is the blood of Jesus. I pray that God will bless you, and I pray that the blood of Jesus will protect you. But knowing that yesterday you were sleeping with somebody else while you have a wife, it doesn't work like that. So I'm afraid. I wish I would tell you and say, oh no, it's going to get better, but it doesn't. There might be more people that might come forward and confessing that they were raped. There might be some that will stay away because they don't want to feel ashamed. But that's how it is. If they want to change their pastors, basically they're gonna have to change the system, because their spirit enters through seed. If you say you are a pastor, and if Hillsong it is a church, their system is gonna have to be more prayer than more entertainment. It's an entertainment place, and where they basically the churches where they are, because sometimes I was watching it yesterday. Apparently, the churches are at the nightclubs. They hire the nightclubs, and the churches are there. That is Lucifer. That's how Lucifer lives his life. His life is all about drugs, sex, killing, witches, all different things. So that's how his life, that's how it lives. For those who are playing Hillsong, you have to be prepared. If that spirit is in with the Hillsong, you have to be prepared to pay the price, because you can't just say, "Oh, I love Hillsong." You're part of it. You become part of it, and they can get out. And the people that the audience that go to Hillsong, they have to pray to get Hillsong out, to get them out and pull them out of the spirit. They can, but if they are not strong with it in prayer, they can't. That means that their spirit will continue. They will have different pastors, and those pastors, because they don't get to choose how they behave. If he's in, they will live by his rules. That spirit is ruling. They will change this pastor, he will get arrested and go to court, and they'll get a new one, and it will be the same story. So the same story will keep happening. It might happen 10 years and they don't know about the story, and then after the story will come out again, same story. So they're gonna have to change how they do things. So that was my experience. So for those who goes to Hillsong, you have to be prepared to actually, and other churches, there are churches, other churches, and how you recognize them, you go on YouTube, if you press play, if that spirit is on that church, the feelings, you're feeling how you feel. The feeling, I don't know, maybe it's because I pray too much, I don't know, meditate too much, so I can feel it. If I watch a pastor that is with this spirit, that is preaching through this spirit, once I pray, I get the excitement. So how can I get excitement if I don't know you? I shouldn't be getting the excitement. I should be having the time of listening to your word of God. Why am I pressing your video and pressing that video? I'm getting excitement straight away. That's wrong. That means it's there. So sometimes the pastors, they join it because they want a big audience. And once they get the audience, you live under this spirit. Sometimes they don't. He enters the church secret through sins. It could be my sins, it could be other audience's sins. So he will enter, and while people saying God and they're worshiping him, this spirit, without knowing. I didn't know I was under Lucifer until basically I decided to change my prayer and how I dress. I'm not making things up. If you look at how I dress, and also my video is a proof. I am brown in complexion, I'm not black. If you go to my video on YouTube channel, sometimes when I broadcast, it comes in. And when it comes in, that is to cause fear into my life, and also is to cause confidence, to take my confidence away, because apparently beauty, you have to, beauty means a lot when you're broadcasting. So if you go and look at my video, sometimes it would dim my video, change my skin color, change the shape of my face as well. If you go on my YouTube channel, just scroll down and have a look, you'll see my face is different in every video, because that's what it does. Basically, it's torturing because I refused to join it, but I can't. So that's not part of the plan. For me, the plan is to follow Jesus, not to follow Lucifer. So if you go on my video and just scroll down, you will see the difference of my face. Sometimes it shapes me to look like my auntie, or sometimes if it will change me to look like somebody else, or somebody else that I know. That is to cause pain. Like when I watch, I'll get frustrated, but I don't care, because those pastors who helped me, they showed me what he does, and I have prayed to God, and I know God loves me. In my heart, I don't really care. All I care about is I'm not in it. I'm not in that spirit. I was removed and I'm not in it. That's what I care about, that I'm alive and I'm breathing. How it makes me look when I'm broadcasting, it doesn't matter. What matters is the message that I give to people. So if you go to my video, scroll down, you will see some videos I'm dark, some videos, but I'm not dark. I am brown in complexion, really, really light brown. I'm not dark. So you will see that some videos I'm dark and some videos I'm something else. That means it is in. When it is in. When I'm broadcasting, it comes in just to put my confidence down. So that's what he does. So that is the proof. And for those, if you say, no, sir, I really, really need to see the proof, I will send you a picture of when I actually caught the spirit. He is a snake. And that snake apparently is carrying millions and millions and millions of people. It cannot be killed. So that is the verdict. It cannot be killed. It's carrying laws and laws and laws of people through sins. Basically, there is God. On earth, you have the Spirit of God that testifies the truth. And then you have him that keeps the record of people. Not necessarily they've sinned, or maybe has the opportunity to hack them. If you have been hacked, that means you are under him. So I took a picture after dropping my children when they were filming. No, actually, we were finished coming from the Harry Potter studio. And when I took a picture, I was shocked. So if you want to see that picture, I'll send it to you on Facebook, or you can go and scroll down on I'll send it to you. Scroll down on my Facebook page. You will find I have my children, 2 children and me. I look green. Really here, I look really, really dark. I'm black, but he's torturing me anyway, but that's fine. So you can see the picture that I have green stuff. It's like it's a snake. So I did catch him. And when he's around, like when he's closer to me, the symptoms of coronavirus, I can't smell anything. I can't do anything. So, and it did appear for real. For me, it did appear for real. And you see this picture here is empty. Here, there's nothing, no handwriting. And but when I look down there, if he appears, he will write everything that he wants here, like magic. So that means that the doctors can easily look at something. Like you go to the hospital, they can easily look at your results. If you're going for blood test, they can easily look for results and tell you that you have cancer if you don't have it. And then he will link you with somebody who's got cancer, and then you die for no reason. So that's what I've learned. So I don't say yes when I go to the hospital. So he did appear, and when I looked down, there were words that he wanted me to read. Sicknesses. He wanted me to read it to show me who he is and what he does. He is a God. He wanted to prove a point. And at that moment, he showed me that, Nomsa, I wanted to show you who I was. And if I wanted to kill you, he showed me that the power, basically he released the power that I lost my strength, my power that he would have taken 1 second to kill me. So that's what he wanted me to know. So then he left. But do I still, yeah, he is a God. He is the devil. He is a God. He is Lucifer. He is a God. Sometimes I tell him to get lost, and he will call my father's name and tell my father's name is Witness. He will say, your witness is daughter, you're bonkers. I'll tell him to get lost. Or sometimes I'm listening to music and they interfere with my music, or I can feel it. Or sometimes he will be speaking through my children and wanting me to tell my children off. So if I tell it off, it will just say, you're bonkers, and it will just leave. Or if I'm praying, when it comes in, I can feel it because I know what kind of a spirit it is. I get the knife out and tell him I'm going to chop your head off and get out. And they will say, bugger off, and it will just go. So it's just You have to recognize it. You have to be able to. Does he attack Christians only? No, I'm afraid not. So for those who are saying, I'm not a Christian, I don't believe in this, you don't have to believe it. So that's how it works. I might make some another video one day. I don't know, when I feel like it. So live with grace, everyone. Ghosty Talk Shows. If you want to get in touch, I'll be with Carol Ann tomorrow. You want to get in touch with the Ghosty Talk Shows, please get in touch. We talk about everything at the Ghosty Talk Shows. And players, if you are watching this video, leave a comment if you are ever going through Satanism. Leave a comment, or if you you ever going through anything like similar to Satanism, just leave a comment. I love to know. And that is my story. And maybe one day I might go deep and how it all started. But for me, it was how I dressed. I was a Christian and I love to dress, taking my boobies out and stuff like that, and dressing like short, basically being seductive. And that brought the spirit to my life. And also the gifts that I have. I know I'm very talented, and I was chosen to be a sacrifice, by the way, human blood sacrifice. So, and that was the part of it as well. So I'm just saying it now because I've gone through it and I've passed through it. And now I can talk about it, I can laugh. But in 2016, I wasn't like this. I wasn't laughing. I was shocked. 2017, 2018, I was still in a shock. I never went to depression, but because I had people that were teaching me how to fight. And 2019, and people were dying. I was watching people dying through it, the spirit through it, because I can feel it, because he basically connected to me. That means now I can feel it. They taught me, basically the pastors, they taught me how to pray. Before I couldn't feel it, so they taught me how to pray. How to fast and how to speak, how to pray, the words to speak. So I use those words, and now I'm able to feel it. So if it comes in, I can just feel it. Or if God comes in, I can feel. Or if the Spirit comes in, I feel. But before I wouldn't, because I was living in a different life. I was living in sin. So live with grace, everyone. God bless.